Hello, hello. Welcome to Rise of the Sacred Sovereign. It's so nice to be here with you today. Adi Govinda Prabhu Ki Jai. So my name's Jaishree. Those of you who don't know me, I am the creator of the Soul Mapping Matrix, as well as the Soul Culture Yoga School. I'm a spiritual educator and a very, very grateful friend to be with my dear friend who I brought in to say hello. And we're reconnecting. Pause due to poor connection. That might happen sometimes. Adi Govinda Das is such a beautiful human being. I'm going to make him so embarrassed right now. But I don't know if you know, there are some really beautiful lights all over the world right now, and they are aspiring bhakti devotees and healers. And Adi Govinda Prabhu is my dear godbrother. His beautiful wife Nirupama and their 3 kids were all really good friends, and they are Mainards here in the US. And Adi Govinda is finishing up graduating to be an Ayurvedic doctor. So he works with naturopath medicine and healing, and he is also building and creating a beautiful sacred center up north in Maine to worship and dance and sing and eat and heal. So the fact that he exists on earth is pretty awesome right now. And you guys know that here at Rise of the Sacred Sovereign, we have sacred big conversations about what's happening in the world. And again, welcome. If you have any questions, just go ahead and comment them in and we'll ask real time. But Adi Govinda Prabhu Ki Jai, Dandavat Pranams. So tell us a little bit, if you will, because you've been working on this project and you have an amazing Guru Dev, Srila Bharati Maharaj, who I love very much. And tell us a little bit about what's happening. Anything, I'm giving you just an open floor, but
sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so what we're trying to do is create the first Radha Krishna ashram here in Maine. Mm-hmm. And because I have some education in natural health care, I also want to create an aspect of the ashram to be a therapy center, so I can serve the bhaktas and help the public to reach greater health and wellness and come in alignment with natural law.
Jai.
So we're currently fundraising and gradually building the center. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I'll be graduating with my master's in Ayurveda just in a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. So then I'll be really beginning my practice and taking on that service for the Vaishnavas, the Vaishnavis.
Jai. So. Can you share a little bit about, some of my beautiful community comes from the yoga world. Hi. Just waving at folks as they come in. Our beautiful community is filled with healers and yogis and meditation folks, awakening psychics, and we talk about that a lot because you're a very naturally gifted, intuitive healer and as well in the world. So what is it about meeting your Guru Dev that was a shift for you? Because you've always been into, I know you went to school also to study, what's the word about?
Alternative medicine.
Alternative medicine, as well as building in natural spaces and
natural building, sustainable living.
Sustainable living. Mm-hmm. What was it about meeting your Guru Dev or about this part of your world that shifted for you to make you want to open up a center?
Well, it was a spontaneous inspiration. I met my Guru Dev and I fell in love with his teachings and his mood and how gentle he was and how greatly austere he was. And so I became inspired to take initiation from him. And so I begged for initiation and he mercifully accepted me. And so after that, I was learning that serving your Guru Maharaj is the backbone of spiritual life, the most important part of spiritual life.
Right.
So I began to contemplate, how can I serve my Guru Dev? And so I realized, well, there's nothing happening in Maine where I'm from, and I have some connections there, and so maybe he'll be happy to hear that I'll try to start an ashram up there. And so I asked my Guru Dev if this was acceptable by him, and he approved, and he gave his 2-handed blessings.
Jai.
So since that moment, I've felt a supernatural power in presence that has never dwindled, never left me.
Yeah.
And it's my Gurudev working from within my heart to manifest his will here in Maine. And so
Beautiful.
I've seen like this, and that is the biggest thing. It's what inspired all this seva that I'm doing is his blessing, his mercy, and then I was looking for a way to kind of integrate all the things I've been learning in a spiritual direction.
Yeah.
So I'd learned many material subjects like natural building, sustainable agriculture, herbalism, and so on. But I wanted to apply them in service to Godhead. So then my Gurudev gave me the path to apply all of them simultaneously in service for the divine.
So beautiful. So beautiful. Yeah, I find that, you know, having traveled for many years as a yogi and working with Ayurveda healers, there is usually a spark, as you say, you called it the God spark. I had someone ask me, oh, I have to wave, Hare Krishna. I found, sorry Prabhu, that while there are so many people who are growing and learning in more ecologically aware and sustainable living, or even doctors, therapists, I mean psychotherapists, a lot of people who study various material academic subjects to help heal in the world, they're still looking for that God spark. They're still looking for that potency that kind of goes through when the culture is changing. Like even the science is changing. But because I guess, and I'm going to pull it out of you because we always have these really good chats, but it seems that there is something missing. And so I love how you say when you met your Gurudev and he gave you that blessing, it sparked something more eternally potent in you that shifted you from just, not just being in the material world or just studying herbalism or just studying ecology and medicine and all that, but into something that made it a spiritual, sustainable practice.
Yes.
So what is it? Share a little bit with my people, my audience, which some know about Vaishnavism and some don't, but talk a little bit about the spark of Guru Tattva.
Oh, that's a big subject.
I know, I'm just throwing it out there.
Sure, I'll try my very best.
Okay.
I am wholly
Unqualified, yes, just share a little
to speak
bit.
about the glories of my Guru Maharaj or of Guru Tattva, but Guru Tattva is the philosophical conclusion about spiritual master. So it details the science of becoming God conscious through receiving instruction and direction and mercy from a pure, enlightened individual.
Right.
And many details can be explained about the qualities that qualify as a bona fide guru. And they are unending because their qualities are infinite. But to say a few, the Gurudev is the representative of God. So as you, like a king sends his representative as a messenger, and how you treat that messenger is essentially reflected on how you treat the king. This is the instruction I've received from Srila Prabhupada. And just like this, how you respond with your Gurudev, the love you develop with your Guru, the attachment you have for him, the service you render to him, it directly corresponds to that service that you're rendering to the Supreme Lord.
Jai.
So, to touch very lightly, this is what I'd have to say.
It's very beautiful.
In my heart.
I have a question for you, and that's such a beautiful heart you share, and a beautiful teaching about how you treat the messengers, how you treat the king. So, in this world where there's so much, like, I heard this the other day about, like, a phrase that I've heard, a couple phrases, hurt people, is used a lot in academia and in various ways, which of course, you know, it's important to work with the shadow or work with the dis-ease. We have many names for it in different healing modalities. Psychologically, people are talking about passing along, you know, generational patterns of trauma or just being upset or, you know, not knowing how to deal with impulses. But there is this other side of real not understanding the possibility of guru or of God even, and taking it completely out of the conversation for the sake of comfort. And so I'm sure a lot of people see us devotees and they think, oh, those crazy Hare Krishnas, they're talking about their guru and all this, and it can become so painful and offensive. But actually, it's more about not understanding or tapping in. And I think that healing or Ayurveda is a way to render service, right? And so people who are building places like you are that can come heal and give service, doesn't that just tap us in to our God spark?
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. Healing has a tremendous capacity to open up the mind to receive, to be willing to change one's life, to be willing to purify one's activities. Healing has the capacity to elevate the consciousness. And in Ayurveda, there's a guna, a mode of nature called sattva.
Sattva guna, yeah.
Sattva guna.
Just wait
So
a night.
in sattva guna, a person can begin spiritual life. And healing is actually the process of coming to sattva guna. And when a person is sattvic, that is established in purity, knowledge, health, then they're naturally inclined to ask about spiritual life. Whereas when we're very passionate or lazy, the inclination to ask about spiritual life is lacking. And so healing, I find, goes hand in hand with the process of discovering one's true nature and discovering one's relationship with God.
Beautiful. So beautiful. It's so true. So working with the mind and the moods, which we call the gunas and the modes of nature, can help us open up more to be more spiritually inclined. And by the way, when you said lazy, I'm like, I'm lazy, but I've become but it's actually, I love that Ayurveda has a term for that. Tamas. We always say, like, what gun, when we're talking about food or what we're taking in for nourishment, we'll say, oh, it's a little bit, or an energy is a little rajagun, a little passionate, a little tamagun, a little mode of inertia or not moving or lazy, which is, everyone's using language that is saying the same thing, though. We just have to keep finding that common language.
Universal, yes. My language is certainly imperfect.
No, your language is beautiful.
The Ayurveda is perfect. They have these terms, and it's very specific. And it implies so much in just one word, like tamas. Darkness, ignorance.
And forgive me because I really mean it, like when you're a very beautiful soul and you heal and you're honest and you're integral, which of course is a really high quality. I mean, Vaishnavas are just, they say it straight, which I love because in this world, everyone talks about boundaries. We talk about that a lot in Soul Mapping Matrix, and we talk about it in yoga, but really all that means is like right action, or right dharma and right words. So
I tried to select the right words.
Yeah, I know.
Practice.
Can you share a little bit about, if you don't mind, it's personal, but how the other day you really listened to spirit in your healing work?
Oh, with my daughter.
Yeah.
So, yes, I was praying over my daughter. She had been sick for some time, and the herbs I had been giving hadn't been helping her as much as I had hoped. And it dawned on me that I hadn't really even, approached God and asked for how I can serve. And so I opened my mind and heart to receive inspiration from the Supreme Lord on how He wants me to serve. And it was an immediate response. Because God is always listening. God is everywhere, and He hears every prayer. And if it's for seva, He gives all necessary intelligence and ingredients to perform that service. And so very mercifully, I saw just what herb I should use for my daughter. And shortly after, the herb did take good effect, and now she's well
her
on
tummy
her
is great, and she's on her way.
Yeah, it was a little miracle in my life, for sure.
I love that. We say all the time, like, what is the point of soul mapping? And this word soul mapping, we've known each other for years. It's just a term for being dharmic as best as possible, following tools and medicine practices and having a good team, and then also going above and always remember and radiating that positivity or that abundance that does come from Guru. and it's hard to explain, but you explain so beautifully. And, you know, miracles unfold in front of us when we're living in that dharmic kind of process. It's just that the higher we go, I think.
It's true.
The higher we go.
Very true.
So how can people support Panacea, your healing company, as well as, because you do, oh my gosh, Adi Govinda does wonderful tinctures. He makes these like jars of like herbal Ayurvedic candy with honey and herbs. So good. As well as healing balms and creams and using proper essential oils and so many things. But how can they also support you and the Seva project of this amazing land that you are building, where healers can come and you can have retreats and all that?
Yeah, well, I encourage anybody to serve how they're inspired to, spontaneously from their heart. Just a prayer all the way up to coming to Maine and doing direct service.
Yeah.
And anything in between. But we have a website, panaceaholistichealth.org, and it has a big, beautiful image of Lord Krishna on it. So you'll know you're at the right space when you see Lord Krishna. And on that website, there's different ways one can collaborate. There's some donate buttons. There's also some memberships where we have a reciprocation with specific donors. We give gifts like herbal products and as a thank you for their donation every month and every season. And the members, they also get discounts to all my services and the health consultations that I do, or the therapy work that I do.
Jai.
So signing up for any therapy, if anyone would need any help, I'd be very honored to help. Or signing up as a member. There's
Beautiful.
a few of the ways that they could collaborate.
Thank you.
But yeah,
thank you, Adi Govinda Das, and thank you to your beautiful wife, Narupa Madasi, and to the kids. I love having us grow up together and our kids grow together.
Yeah.
Your Srila Gurudev was very merciful to me many times in India and gave me so much mercy and big, beautiful eyes of pools of love and light. And I know he was sent by my Srila Gurudev also, you know, that they came all together, but he wanted him to give all of my Sangha association also. So we are all a big family.
Yes, it's true.
Well, I will put Adi Govinda Prabhu's information in this. And thank you for joining us for this very special and off the cuff Rise of the Sacred Sovereign, because talking about integrating tools for living a beautiful, spiritual, and blissful life sustainably is what we are all about. Please leave me a comment or a message. And of course, visit us at jaishreeyoga.com. I just put out my first book, Discover Your Bliss, after 10 years, which really talks about my spiritual experience, similar to what you were sharing in coming into my own healing and what we call manifestation process, which is really seeing the miracles unfold in life every day. So you can download that for free at jaishreeyoga.com. And I hope you do. Thank you so much. Peace. Speak with you soon. Radhe Radhe. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Hare Krishna.